Hello, everyone. I believe you're the only one in here right now, Jo. But got some channel updates today for you guys, and just wanted to go live because I've gone live for quite a while. So I am going to just kind of go over some channel things and talk about some leather projects that I received. Yes, I did get the stuff, Jo. Everything arrived okay, and I was hoping I'd have a few more people in here, but I didn't really give a whole lot of notice, and I apologize for that. I was having some computer difficulties that I think I've got them all ironed out. I shouldn't have any more issues going forward. I'm just going to be using StreamYard from this point forward rather than something else that I've been trying to use, and it just keeps fighting me. So I believe it's just you and me, Jo, right now. Let's see if we can get started here with a couple of things I want to talk about for the upcoming giveaway. Haven't really decided exactly how I'm going to do the giveaway exactly, like how I'm going to do the drawing or whatever for the giveaway, or what little trick I have up my sleeve for what might be required to enter. But I can tell you what the prizes will be. So we'll go over that. And first knife I'm going to be giving away is this one here. I won't take it out of the package. I'll just see if I can show you an example of it in a minute. But I think everybody's familiar with the Ash Viper. That's what this is. And then also American Outdoor Brands was kind enough to provide this for the giveaway. And it's a LB7. You guys are familiar with an LB7 is. It's a lockback, very similar to the Buck 110. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to go about the giveaway at this point. We're just going to kind of give that a little thought. But we just recently reached 2,000 subscribers. Hi, Kirby. How you doing? We just recently reached 2,000 subs, so I definitely wanted to do a giveaway. So I'm going to be giving away these two. I don't know how I'm going to do it exactly yet. I know I'll be end up doing a drawing for it, but how you go about entering, I'm just not really sure quite yet what that's going to be. But if you guys will give me just a moment, I'm going to get these knives out. I have examples of these so that everyone can see what it is that the knives are without having to open the packages. Now just bear with me just a minute. I'll be right back, guys. The first one we're going to be giving away okay. So this is what the LB7 looks like. You get your sheath and then the knife itself right there, and we'll take a closer look at that in a second. Let me go grab the other one. I was having so many problems earlier that I didn't have opportunity to completely prepare tonight, so I'm a little out of sorts. Had a lot of issues getting live. So just bear with me a moment, and I will be right back, guys. Okay, so here's the Ash Viper. And that's what we're going to be, that's what you guys will be playing for in the upcoming giveaway. So, yeah, it's pretty nice little set of knives. And there'll be two winners. One for the LB7 and one for the Stockman. And it's just the Roper Ash Viper. Then you get the 1065 carbon blades on it. And then the 7CR17 blade of the Uncle Henry LB7. This is the Chinese version, modern one. So comes with a sheath. And so yeah, nice little giveaways. And again, this one will be sealed up in a box. This is just an example of what it is you're getting. But this one was provided again by American Outdoor Brands. They were nice enough to provide that for the giveaway. And yeah, just 2,000 subs. I mean, kind of crazy the last 3 months. I think it was November we hit 1,000, and in 3 months we're already up to 2,000. So anyway, I want to welcome everybody back into the channel here. Chatty1207, hello. How are you doing? Terrence, thank you so much. Yeah, the 2,000 mark came up on me quicker than I could even prepare for. I mean, it was pretty nuts. I was probably thinking it was going to take another, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. And I think the last 30, 40 subs were really, really fast. So it was not even prepared really. But I did get this knife sent to me from American Outdoor Brands in Missouri, and they wanted to contribute to the giveaway, and so I want to thank them for that. But we've got a lot of great things coming up. Shorts are going to be a bigger player. In February, YouTube's going to be making some changes to how that works, so that's going to be a bigger and more important thing for the channel. So we'll be, probably use the shorts to kind of preview some things that are coming up and that sort of thing. I'm also going to be doing more with the channel membership. It's called the Commando Club. If you guys haven't already joined, it's $3 a month to join up to that if you want. You can also give thanks now in the videos, or super chats. And of course the Commando Club gives you the ability to use the emojis and things that I'll give you an idea what those look like here in the chat. Just all these little emojis or emoticons, whatever you call them. Pretty cool stuff. But it'll be that and more. And you get previews of things in the club. Hey RJ, how you doing, buddy? Mark Rogerson, how you doing? Good to see you in here, Galen. Kind of an impromptu live. Again, did a horrible job of planning for this, so I apologize for anybody who ends up missing out on this, because it was really not well planned out, because I really hadn't been feeling great today and didn't know if I'd be doing anything with the channel, but turned out to start feeling a little better in the evening. So just needed to, I think I was dehydrated or something. I don't know. I wasn't feeling great. But anywho, so for those that missed what I was saying earlier, the 2K giveaway, there are going to be 2 prizes. This Uncle Henry LB7, which, again, if you guys aren't familiar with what that looks like, I mean, it's pretty standard fare for knives. Basically a $110 made by Schrade. Okay, comes with the pouch or whatever. So it won't be this one. This one's in a sealed up box. And then you get this Ash Viper, and this one's mine. And then this one is also sealed up in the box. Well, not sealed, it's open, but that's because they don't have tape on the box. You can get in there. But anyhow, those will be prizes given away. Again, I don't know what it is I'm going to do for the drawing yet. Probably just be something that you have to do to respond or reply, but that'll be those instructions will be in an upcoming video. I'm not going to do that tonight. I haven't really had time to think about what exactly I want to do. So that will be upcoming. Thank you. Thank you, Stuart. Appreciate it. He says, congratulations on 2000. It did. Went really quickly. The last 3 months have been just absolute blur. I've barely been able to keep up doing anything that I wanted to do. But before it gets too late, I know that J.O.'s in here, and I wanted to talk a bit about some of the projects that he did for me recently. If you guys aren't familiar, there's J.O.'s channel there, J.O. Ventures Outdoors. And he also included a little keychain. And what I did was I traded a little bit of cash and a little bit of a rope knife. Actually, the Watchman rope knife. He put it on his little preview video there earlier. I think you guys are familiar. It's the W002 from Watchman, a little rope knife. Traded that and a little cash, and very reasonable. J.O.'s not asking much for his work. He really could charge a lot more if he wanted to. But here is one of the three things that he did for me. Here's another. These are basically the same thing. And then this. So what this was is a little novelty knife. Okay, it's a Camillus, or excuse me, not a Camillus, it's Colonial. It's a little Colonial novelty knife. And you can see it says, I always forget what it says. Ebertude Pass in Colorado. And it's just one of these little travel destinations. And you can see it's just a little novelty Bowie knife made for a kid. It's got a blunt tip, and it never had an edge on it. You can tell it was never ground. But tough to see there. Let me see if I can zoom in. It says Colonial on it, on the tang. So it is an actual, name brand style knife. You might just be able to make that out. But it says Colonial, and then Providence, Rhode Island, USA on the bottom there. And then it's kind of blank on that side. But it's just a neat little piece. And it's been played with, and the kid probably had a lot of fun with it, whoever got it. All right. And the original sheath, they wore out. They must have enjoyed it. Or, the stitching wasn't maybe that great. But so there's the original. And just had a little snap on it. And then on the back, it was like a little belt style loop on it. See there? But it only fit like not even something as big as my thumb. Only like maybe a ½ inch belt. So it was really more looks than actual use. But you can see how the original went in there. And just kind of fit like that. So J.O. Worked his magic on this thing. And J.O. has been doing a lot of leather projects lately. I think he's working on one has been working on one for Warthog recently. So that'll be interesting to see that video. You may have just posted it. I haven't had an opportunity to watch it yet. But he put this nice little, I can't remember what he called it, but it's like a little thumb there. Almost like a doorknob, right? And then there's a hole with the slit. So instead of a button, it just kind of goes on there like that. Really cool. So, this is much better leather than the original. You can see that's nice and thick. And then he put a better style loop on there. Little kid could probably actually wear that on his belt if he needed to. But yeah, that's just really well done. What can you say? John's been doing a lot of great work, and just really feels really nice in the hand, nice tanned. That coloring on the handle, or the material there, is really nice. Like the threading too. Just nice color to offset the brown. Yeah, so just a neat little piece. And there's a little keychain. I better look at that. It's like, I guess, a reverse sticker, and then on top of some plastic. Kind of neat. I'm not sure where he got those made, but those are pretty neat little idea. And of course the stickers, they're very similar to mine. They have a matte finish. It's probably made from the same type of 3M decals. And then we've got these two guys. So really wanted to garden them. Yeah, right, RJ. I mean, it's pretty small. But I'm glad RJ's in here because I actually wanted to tell him something. So this is for a sunfish, and I had two of these made because one of them is going to use for myself. All right. And it's a nice tight fit. And I had earlier sent RJ same thing I'd been using for my sunfish, which was this little slip right here. But it's a little bit loose, so like when you put it in there, it kind of slides out rather easily. It doesn't really hold very well. So I was kind of a little worried about it falling out sometimes. But it was for a comb, and it fits pretty good, but it just isn't, it's like, I don't know, pleather. I don't even think it's real leather. So these are just so much nicer. And you can see John did a great job getting those to fit snug in there. And you get the nice grommet. You want to put a lanyard on there. That sort of thing. So very, very cool. But one thing I wanted to surprise RJ with was to let him know that I'm going to be sending this to you, guy. Because I got two of them made, and I had one of them intentionally made just for you, so you can replace this kind of crappy one that I sent you before and upgrade it to this nice leather one. So hopefully you're still in the chat and you can hear me right now. Let you know that I'm going to be sending this off to you, brother. So thank you very much for having me on your lives. Really appreciate it. This is sort of just a thank you gift for all the stuff you've been doing lately, and just to show my appreciation for just how cool a guy you are. So be looking for that in the mail shortly. I'll have that probably out in the mail by tomorrow, by Saturday. So there you go. J.O., thank you so much. I don't know what to say. This stuff's just, it's fantastic. You're doing really good work there, and you just mean a lot to the community, and your skill set really helps out on helping us out with, these custom little slips and things, because, you just can't find one for a sunfish. So that's just a nice little upgrade for me, and I'll be using that a lot. Now I can carry my sunfish without any issue. You're welcome, RJ. Really, really do appreciate it, man. And I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. Earlier, Gio said he's going to be on the lives with RJ on Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to skip out for a couple of weeks at least, just give some guys opportunities to kind of rotate in. So I think Jo said he's going to be on next week, so I'll be sure to be there, but I won't be in the actual panel this week. So just want to let everybody know that. But let's see what. Oh yeah, almost forgot. John sent this little novelty Tabasco bottle, which is really funny because just the other day I was trying to find something that maybe would fit into a staged photo for a knife that I'm going to put up on Instagram. I like taking kind of funny photos for Instagram and posting them. So if you haven't already joined my Instagram channel, make sure you do that. It's just Thrifty Kniffy, same as the channel name. But yeah, be looking for this bottle again, Jo, on Instagram, because I'm going to be posting a little fun photo that'll include this in the picture. So you'll know what I mean when you see it. But that's going to be really cool for that. Let's see, what else? So also want to kind of talk about some books that I've got recently. And I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I'm going to call this TK's Library. So what I'm going to do is kind of go over some books that I really like that are knife related, and just some that I recommend that you try to look for. So let me clear my table here so we can get these books out. And I will be right back. Okay. So this kind of TK's library, we'll call this little segment, because yeah, this book's so big I'm not gonna be able to get it all the way into the screen. I guess if I turned it sideways, you can maybe see it better there. The glare on this thing's pretty bad. But in any case, it's the Complete Encyclopedia of Knives. Now, as far as information goes, I mean, it's okay. Good to see you in here, Freedom Frog. Awesome to have you in here. It's more of a coffee table book. So if you're into that sort of thing, you know, and you kind of want to have a coffee table style knife book, this kind of gives you an idea what you're looking at here. I mean, it's got some information, right? And a lot of variety of knives. Some of the selections that they picked, you know, wouldn't have been necessarily my top picks, but you know, you get things like the Kalashnikov in the Boker, under the Boker section, and it's alphabetized by maker, right? Here's some bucks, right? So you're going to get the standard fare, the bucks, the 102, the 119, the 110, that sort of thing. And some of their modern stuff too. But it's really kind of hit and miss on what it is that they'll show you. Like, for example, the Camilla stuff, I would have thought you would have seen a lot more of the older stuff, but they're actually showing you the modern stuff like that. And so, you know, it is what it is. It's just kind of a glossy, nice photo style book, but I do like it. And if you can find it used for like $15, something like that. Author is A.E. Hartink, but really good photographs. And again, just more of a coffee table book. It gives you an idea what that is there. More than 1,500 brilliant color photos and drawings. So there you have that. Now, the next one up is one that is pretty popular. It's American Premium Guide to Razors and Knives. And this is all just American stuff. This one's by Jim Sargent. This is the sixth edition, so they have quite a few editions out there. This one has some color, but it's just got like a section of it. Section of color, mostly, you know, you're looking at large photos, and then they've got some identification, you know, like some pricing, that sort of thing, which I don't get too much into the pricing because no one's necessarily going to follow that when you go to a knife show. It's going to be negotiable probably, right? I would think. But they give you a guide. You get some good information on cases, their numbering system, how to identify all that stuff. Just a pretty decent book. I give that about a 7 out of 10. Here's another one. Maybe not quite as well known as one coming up, but this is the American Blade Collectors Association Price Guide to Antique Knives. And there's the author there, J. Bruce Voiles, I guess. And again, just American knives are represented in here. This one does a better job of showing like all the different patterns for particular brands. And it does give like some history when you get to the first page of whatever it is that they're showing. But this one's helpful if you just kind of want to see like a wide variety of different patterns made by the American companies, because they do a great job of showing just a ton of different ones. But in terms of like, yeah, there's a good example. This is like the Cataragus Cattaraugus Cutlery Company. Have all the different ones for that. It's pretty good. I give that about an 8 for just for information. Then next, here's one to avoid. Reason being is like Blade Magazine took over this edition of the Levin's Guide. This is the 7th edition. I think the 5th edition was the first one where they kind of took control. Krause Publications took control of the Levin's Guide and started doing their own thing with it. And it's just not quite as valuable in information as the actual Levin's Guide. Let me grab that real quick. Where did I put it? Well, I don't know where it is anyway. The Levin's Guide, we'll just say Levin's Guide to Knives and Values, and you want either the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th editions. So I wish I had that example in front of me right now, but I'm not sure where it is. I'll have to try to locate that in a minute. But another thing I found useful was the paracord book. This just has tons of different information on how to tie paracords. So if you're into doing kind of your own thing, this Todd Mickelson book, I give that a thumbs up. Make keychains, bracelets, lanyards, all sorts of stuff. So how you doing, Diver Dave? Good to see you in here. And yeah, just a really cool book for information on what you would need, you know, thread and needles and scissors and buckles, and just gives you like different ways of dealing with the shrink data. I mean, it's pretty detailed. I mean, it gets down to the nitty gritty on what it is that you do, how to melt the paracord. I mean, right, dealing with the splicing. You can do all kinds of the more difficult stuff. He gives you information on. Then it just goes into all the different knots and so forth. This is one of my favorites, is the snake knot. You use 2 different colors, and then gives you the instructions on all the different ways of going through the knots. So yeah, just kind of what you'd expect from a book like this. And the kind of cover gives you an idea of just the variety of stuff you can do. So pretty cool. Paracord. Again, the author on that is Todd Mickelson. Now, I know you can go to YouTube and learn a lot of that same stuff too. I get it. But it's kind of nice to just be able to have that book right in front of you now. Sometimes when you're trying to play the video, it gets past it, and then you're rewinding back and forth, and you miss out on what they do and so forth. But here's another great book. I mean, if you're any kind of a pocket knife historian and want to learn about the military issue stuff, this book I just got maybe 2 days ago, so I haven't really had a chance to look it over in any depth. But Michael Sylvie, this was one that was recommended a lot in all the forums and things for a book for military knives. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting into this one and kind of getting into all the different old military knives. Looks like an old E.J. Higgins cast steel rope knife. I mean, very, very cool stuff here. Here's a little hobo knife there with like a steak poker for a fork. Yeah, so this one gets into a lot of detail about all that stuff. And here's a looks like a TL, the early TL29, right? The scout knife, or the SC Signal Corps. Yeah, there you go, Signal Corps knife. So yeah, I've already talked a lot about that in the video that I did on the TL29s. But yeah, there's just a whole mess of information about that stuff. So I'll be digging deeper into that and have a greater understanding of the military stuff. Oh, sorry about that. So there's my library of books. I'll see if I can't find that Levin's guide real quick. Yeah, I just have no idea where I put it. Anyway, I don't have time to look for it. But anyone who's been looking for Levin's guide knows what I'm talking about. It's probably it's the kind of the Bible of traditional knives. It's definitely the best of the books that I've seen. So look for either the second, third, or fourth editions. The fourth edition is kind of the Grail one, where it's the most updated before it switched over to the other publication, other publisher. But even Levin himself says, that's the one to have if you can afford it. But they usually run around $120 or some crazy thing. So I generally look for the second or the third one for something more affordable. But one other thing I wanted to do tonight was kind of get into to how I clean a new knife. And sometimes when you get a new knife, they're pretty dirty and more than you might expect. So kind of wanted to dive into that. Just a quick look at kind of my methods and maybe some tips on cleaning a new knife. Just recently got this little guy here, and gotta say I was surprised because on the Smoky Mountain Knife Works website, this was supposed to be the 3 3/4 inch size, but I was a little hesitant about that because I know I've talked about this before. All the small sow bellies from Rough Rider have this double threaded bolster. So when you see that, that generally means that it's going to be the small one. But they haven't made very many of these. I think they've only made, I think this might be the 4th or 5th one. But on their website, if you go there, at least the last time I looked, it was the 3 3/4 inch size that they had listed in the data. And it is definitely not. As you can see there, it's just 3 1/8. So buyer beware. I knew because I knew about the double threaded thing, but I'm gonna guess that people are gonna be looking at the specs and going, whoa, wait a minute. This is the small one. But I'm gonna use this as an example of what I do to clean. This particular knife has very little snap, and I'm not sure that even cleaning it is gonna really improve it much. Fairly weak snap on the main blade. The sheep's foot's pretty good. It's got some snap. But it could be dirt. Could be, or I'm sorry, the sheep's foot doesn't have snap. It's the spade blade that's got the snap. Yeah. Okay, so the spade blade, or the sheep's foot has very little snap. Look at that. It just barely closes. So we're going to try to improve that. There's no guarantee that it will, but if it is because it's dirty, it will improve it. So let's get all the blades opened up. All right, and I try to do sort of the basic cleaning that I use is a dry cleaning. So I don't really try to use anything that's going to make a mess. Okay, that's kind of like something I'll do if the first attempt doesn't work. I use my little anvil here, and I've got these little conical style Q-tips, right? And what I do, all right, we'll see you, Terrence. Appreciate you coming in. I know it's kind of late, so I'm not going to try to keep you guys up, but basically I just take a Q-tip, flatten it out. You can see how that's flattened it out. All right. And you won't necessarily need to do it on this because it has a fairly wide channel. But if you have like a narrow channel, that works very effectively at getting that Q-tip small enough to kill it. I'm just going to run this through here. I'm going to get all the, mainly it's just rubbing compound out of there. It's just stuff that gets left over from being polished and so forth, and all the grime and grit from just the manufacturing plant, which if you've ever been in a manufacturing plant, I grew up in one, and there's just grit and grime everywhere, right? It's just unavoidable. The place never gets cleaned properly, and the floors are gross. It's just grit and grime everywhere. So it gets everywhere, and people touch the walls and the machines and everything else, and before you know it, everything's just a mess. And generally, cleaning is not a priority in a manufacturing plant unless you're working with like electronics or something like that, maybe, where you have to keep everything, perfectly clean. But when you're working like with steel and metal and that sort of thing, typically not something you worry about. All right, so you can see just with some simple wiping down that pulled that out of there. Then the next thing I like to do is close all the blades. So we're going to clean all the areas of the tang that are exposed with the blades closed. So same idea, just going to kind of flatten this out to give it a little more narrow tip on it. And we're going to rub on the channel, on the joint area here. You can see that's picking up pretty nasty stuff. Just all along the joint. I don't think there's much help for this knife. I think it's just got a weak spring, so I don't expect it to do much. So any improvement that you see would be a little bit of a surprise. Generally, I can tell just by playing with it whether it's gritty or just got a crappy spring. And this one has a pretty crappy spring, I think. All right, so all that's clean. So now we're going to, again, just kind of see what came off of there. I'm just going to give it a little KPL love. One little trick if you use KPL, shake the bottle. When you do that, it creates little air bubbles at the top, and then when you have more control over the flow that comes out of the tube. So we're just going to take a little bit of lube there, and then this two sides here. Yeah, if you don't shake it, you'll end up using it a lot more oil than you would otherwise. So it just gives you a little more control, lets you kind of preserve the amount that you use. All right, so then when I'm oiling the blades, generally speaking, at the top of the tang, right at the elbow there, that's where the oil accumulates in the top part when you actually oil it, right? Because then it gets rubbed on by the spring and it forces it up to the top. So I just kind of like to use the last 90 degrees to kind of really lube it, and then use the action at the end to kind of finish the job. And just kind of work at that full 180 degrees. But didn't really improve much on the main blade. It wasn't too bad. Didn't expect it to do much. Again, that was just such a light pull. We're going to go ahead and do that cleaning on this one too, though. Last 90 degrees, about 5-6 times. And then work at 180. I don't see it improving this one. This one's just a lost cause. So this probably wasn't the best example to use, but you can see it does snap a little bit better here at the end, but it's pretty bad. So this one's kind of a disappointment. I'll probably review it, but it's not going to get a strong review because, again, this wasn't the size it was supposed to be according to the website. And the blade action, I think, is just horrible. This is the best of the blades. There you go. So that's how I clean a new knife. But pretty straightforward. You can get more detailed. I could throw this into a ultrasonic cleaner or something like that if you wanted to, but really usually not that big of a need to do that. But you will have compound in there, and this one wasn't too bad, to be honest, as far as dirtiness. But I've had chunks fall out that are like big pebbles of compound fall out of there. So it's always a good idea to clean them up right out of the box and get the best action you can on them. I would say this main blade improved a little bit, but the other two blades are pretty much the same. So this one wasn't too bad to begin with. But anyway, that's how you can go about it. And you can get these conical style Q-tips on Amazon. They just kind of save you a little effort getting to the tight spaces. And they also have other cosmetic brushes and all sorts of different things that you can get. So just be creative and come up with, like secondary uses to things. That generally helps you save some money. And if you were to buy like a gun cleaning kit or something like that, and it came with these, they'd be 4 times as much, right? So you don't need to do that. Just kind of take the more basic approach to what they are. Conical Q-tips. But anyway, that's all I really have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, I'm going to go back over this. I mentioned it briefly at the beginning, but I want to make sure everybody knows these 2 knives are going to be given away in an upcoming drawing. I don't have the details for you yet on that, but this is the LB7 lockback. LB7 lockback. All right. And the Roper is the Ash Viper, this knife right here. So those will be an upcoming giveaway, and I'll provide you guys instructions on how to make that happen later on. But I appreciate everybody coming in. Going to spend just a few minutes kind of looking over the chat, make sure there wasn't any questions that I didn't answer. Everybody's kind of taken off anyway, but I appreciate everybody coming in. I know this was kind of an impromptu thing. So just want to say thanks to Freedom Frog, J.O. Ventures, Kirby Creek Outfit, Chatty, 1207, Terrence Cord, Mark Rogerson, RJ's Knives. Thank you, buddy. And again, I'm going to be sending out this sheath to you soon. And just want to thank everybody for helping me get to 2,000. It's been a blast. Diver Dave, Jerome Voss, thank you for coming in. Everybody's kind of taking off, but I know it's late. So, and tomorrow's a work night or work day, I guess. So, but James, thanks for coming in, and everybody have a good evening. Take care.